Recording is on.
Welcome to the DXbiz weekly gathering for December 20th, 2021. As we wind down to the end of the year, it's good to have a small little crew here. Um, just for agenda purposes, I don't think we have any new member intros. Jaff from EPNS is here. EPNS is something that probably people have heard about for a while, and it's something that people always, I think, probably talked about wanting. And so now that it's here, excited to learn more about it. I actually don't know too much about it. Um, and then for topic discussions, yeah, Dave, you're here. So we the last week we've been throwing around this idea of sponsoring esports related to like some esports teams out there that are really interested in becoming and using DAO infrastructure. So it's kind of a forward-thinking idea, but pretty interesting. Um, we have Initiative DAO, which is now live and funded, and there's a few people that are already wanting to request some funds for some ideas, which is cool. There is also a new proposal uh, for to ask what is now Gnosis DAO related to Gnosis Chain post merger of XDAI and Gnosis Chain. There's a proposal to basically ask for the incentive rewards that were already supported by the XDAI community, and now that kind of stake has changed into GNO, we have a plan to re-ask for these rewards just to cover what was being expected and to like trial some additional multi-reward incentives on farming for Swapper. And so one good thing is it's one of the first proposals, I believe, to Gnosis DAO. I mean, there's a couple other ones related, but post merger. So it will be interesting to see how a small proposal like that kind of goes through the Gnosis DAO proposal process, which I think we might need some help with to like get it get the actual proposal live into what is effectively safe snaps, which I'm not really familiar with myself. Um, then yeah, there's the update on the XDAI ecosystem DAO, and then yeah, Nathan just raised an interesting discussion around leveraging Carrot, DXDAO's recent product, to get involved in kind of the greenification of Gnosis Chain. And there already have been green initiatives related to XDAI network, and now will most likely carry over to Gnosis Chain as well. And so if we can leverage Carrot for some unique case there, that would be pretty cool. And then into DX events, we have two proposals live for the DXDAO sponsorship of ETH Denver, and then a couple of other ideas we can discuss. And then potentially, if we get to have time at the end, we can touch on DX Ventures opportunities and anything else people bring up. But that's the agenda, which is pretty packed. And we will start off today with Jaff from EPNS. And Jeff, we don't have any specific. I think everyone's here excited to learn about EPNS um, and maybe if there's anything, Nathan, you wanted to add before we start. But yeah, if you wanted to like kind of give an overview and where you guys have come from, and maybe for like 10 or so minutes or 10 or 15 minutes, and then we can ask any questions or things like that would be interesting.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you
Great.
so much. All right, my name is Jafet, but you can call me Jaff. I'm operations lead at EPNS, and I even prepared like a small presentation for today, just to make sure that everybody has a clear idea on their minds about what EPNS is, what we're bringing to the table, and you already with this intro, you already presented a bunch of ideas to me that they are really really interesting. So I think going over the presentation first, it will make a lot of sense to get everybody on the same page.
That sounds awesome.
All right, let me share my screen really quick. Uh, okay, you should be seeing presentation and my mouse moving, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So what's CPNS at at a high level? Um, if you go to our website, sometimes people can think of it as a notifications engine, but in reality, EPNS is much more than that because what we're building is what it says here, the world first communication protocol. What we're building is a middleware for the Web3 to function as the communication middleware for the Web3. So it will be more than notifications. That's why we put this here in between parentheses because it's more than notifications. By the way, if you have any question whatsoever, during the presentation, please interrupt me. I love asking, answering questions. All right, let me continue. Okay, so yeah, this is something that we always like to start with this, just because it shows what EPNS is. Let me show you. It's a quick video. Hopefully, you can hear the. Can you hear the audio?
No.
Uh, Hold on, one quick second. Share audio. Yeah, found it. Oh, I need to stop screen sharing. Okay, I will not do it. It's just a quick video that shows what notifications are, how notifications look in our mobile app, and what you can expect from it. Here you will see a bunch of different screenshots. Let me just finish the video really quick.
It's really nice.
I'll
Looks
I'll
cool.
send I'll send here the URL in case you want to see it later. It has some cool music, so it's always fun to see.
I saw it in it was previously called iTunes. It's now the App Store, right? And also on the Google Play Store.
We are
It's
there.
fully
Yes,
functional, right?
fully functional.
Just waiting for mainnet.
Correct.
Good.
We're going to get there in a minute. All right. So now that we started off with the good vibes, what are we, right? What's EPNS? So EPNS is basically we call ourselves the missing piece of the Web3 because, well, if you think about it, this that we put here, that the communication is in the Stone Age, it really is true, right? This is not the 90s. Users are not expected to go fetch information or to go visit platforms every 10 minutes to see if there is something new. And that's where we are today, right now. Even if you are a user of 10 different DeFi platforms, for example, most likely is that you are having to go visit those 10 platforms and check what's up with your positions, if you have loans, if you have won a lottery or something like that. That's why we call it that right now the communication in the Web3 is in the Stone Age. That's why we are the missing piece of the Web3. We are adding that missing link that is stopping the users to having to go fetch information by themselves and have the information flow to the users like it happens right now every day in our lives. Most likely, as soon as we wake up in the morning, you already have some push notifications on your phone, right? That's what we are used to. That's the practical thing, and it doesn't exist in the Web3 right now. So that's what we are here to fix. Now, how are we fixing it? We are creating an open, permissionless communication layer that allows protocols, platform, and services to send notifications. And it's important this part that it says here is not only text notifications. You will not only get text saying, "Hey, something happened with your account," but you can get multimedia content. So that is videos, that is pictures, whatever you need to send. One of the cool things is that since we started all this journey, is it still recording? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Since yeah, you heard the noise. Okay. Since we started, we always kept in mind that we had to be multi-chain and platform agnostic. So what somebody was mentioning a minute ago, yeah, we do have a mobile app that we do have it in the two flavors, in the two main flavors, right? iOS and Android. And we have a browser extension as well. We have backend and front-end SDKs, even a mobile SDK that we're releasing soon. So if you have a mobile app, you can even integrate receiving notifications in your mobile app. But this is all that we have been considering since the very beginning. So the entire protocol is built around being very thin, very hand by hand with the Web3 ethos, and that's what we're building. If you think about it, users nowadays, especially in the crypto space, they are very privacy centric, very user centric, and what we're talking about here is sending notifications, or let's call it information, to their wallet addresses. So you as a user, you don't have to provide anything. You don't have to give away your email, your name, phone number, or anything like that that you are usually asked. Not even like a handle from your social networks. You give away your wallet, and that's where you will be receiving the notifications. Um, this this slide, I wanted to take 1 minute just to explain and to put ideas on your mind. I think that's part of one of the goals today, to put ideas of what you can accomplish with Web3 notifications. So these are just, let's say, three categories of use cases: DeFi, NFTs, gaming and lottery, and Web3 services. So one very popular DeFi use case that we've spotted since the very beginning is if you have a loan, an active loan in a DeFi platform, you want to receive an alert, a notification saying your loan is about to get liquidated. So you get a notification, and as I was saying, it's not only text that you get. It comes with a call to action. That call to action is where a user can click it, and the user will be taken to wherever the user needs to go fix their situation with their loan. So now, looking at it from this point of view, EPNS Web3 notifications becomes a tool for user engagement and user retention. In the case of DeFi, yeah, we're talking about you taking an action on your own specific account, your own loans. But there are other cases, for example, that I'm not mentioning here, but governance is one that is very interesting. You get a notification saying, hey, there's a new proposal, go read it. Or you can actually read it from the notification itself. But even more cool than that, if you click it, it will take you to where the proposal is. So let's say it's in Snapshot, it will take you to Snapshot. You can cast your vote there, once you get the notification. But even more cool is something that we're releasing soon next year. It's the ability to cast a vote from the notification itself. Right. So that's the like this the capabilities of EPNS notifications. They are very expandable. In the case, I'm going to keep an eye on the chat just in case. And of course, again, if you have any question, just interrupt me. That's what I'm here to answer. In the case of gaming, if you think about it, let's say you participated in one of those no loss lottery. What if you have $1 million waiting for you in your wallet and you just don't know about it? So nobody told you about it. But if you were to receive a push notification on your phone directly saying you just won $1 million, we'll probably not be in this call, right? So that's another case. And finally, the Web3 services. I'm I put this one here, ENS domain expiration, because this is a great example. We do have a collaboration with ENS right now, where historically, if you wanted to keep an eye on your domain to understand if it was going to expire, you had to keep an eye on Discord or Twitter or any other alternative that they offer. For example, giving away your email. But what if instead of that, you get the notification saying your domain is about to expire? Click here to go renew. You click it and you go to your very own specific renew page for your very own domain. So I wanted to put this slide here so that the main idea was to put ideas on your mind, just to explain a couple of use cases, 2, 3 use cases that are important, so that it brings ideas to your mind for your very own specific use cases. Let me move on. Talking a little bit about where we are and what's coming. We are building additional protocol features. Yes, this is a very interesting one because, as I was saying, it's not only about notifications, it's communication in general. This is something that we are going to start working on very early next year, decentralized video and chat. And it's going to be tough, challenging, and really cool for sure. Governance control is the example that I was giving you just a minute ago. And of course, everything that comes with being cross-chain, gas optimizations, uh, that is everyone's homework right now. We are cross-chain compatible already. A month ago, we run a POC during the Solana event, and it worked beautiful. While the name of the protocol is Ethereum Push Notification Service, we were born in Ethereum. We love Ethereum, but we understand that going to other chains is super important. So we are right now we are EVM compatible and non-EVM compatible. That means we can install our services in any of the other chains. We have done several proof of concepts already. Just that the popular one that we did during Solana was there with Solana, and of course we're going to Polygon first. This is something that I was mentioning before. We are developing SDKs because being an infrastructure protocol, it makes sense to make a lot of our efforts gone to the development community because they are the ones that are going to be actually implementing solutions. And finally, let me just confirm something. Yeah, finally, a little bit about the roadmap. But before we go into roadmap, I wanted to ask if anybody has any question.
Yeah. So,
All right.
uh, as a DAO, we we basically, and we have lots of products. We don't collect email addresses and stuff. So at this point, we don't have a way to contact the users of our products. This obviously seems like a good way to do it. Is this built so that a DAO itself can use it, or is it like normally like a person on behalf of the DAO is managing these
Yes,
things?
awesome question. Okay, so right now, the way we are working out the collaborations with the different, sorry, with the different teams and protocols is that we take care of developing the notifications ourselves. So you, for example, you give us a subset of 5 notifications that you would be interested in. We are going to create the channel for you. We're going to, that's the communication channel. I will explain in a second. um, we're going to create a channel for you. We're going to develop the notifications as you describe them. We're going to verify that they are actually what you are expecting. And what we have been doing with different protocols and teams is that we develop it, we host it in our infrastructure, right, for some time until you get used to how the notifications work, even if there are modifications to be made. But you, the DAO, will be the owner of the channel. So that wallet that is used to create the channel it becomes like one more asset for the DAO because they are the ones that can delegate us to send notifications on their behalf, right? Which is what is happening right now. So we are having protocols create their wallets, their channels, so that they are the true owners of their channels, and that they delegate us for some time to handle the notification services for them. And at the moment you feel safe of running your own infrastructure and everything that's needed, then at that moment you just remove the delegation.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, for the viewers who might watch this later on YouTube, and um, I advised Jeff before the call, basically, DeFi is a spectrum nowadays. Even if it's called DeFi, it's rarely truly decentralized. And on that spectrum, DXDAO is probably one of the extremes. And I gave Jeff an example of how DXDAO leverages ENS domains and how the entire DAO owns the domains and they're managed through on-chain governance. And there is no single centralized point in which hands any of the domains are. So if we could use EPNS the same way the DAO uses ENS, that would be just amazing.
Yeah, and I did ask our engineering lead as well, just to triple check right before I came to this call. And yeah, the way we are built, it's pretty straightforward. And well, when we start, we still suggest that teams and protocols, they like we work this together at the beginning. It's very very easy to later on move to this approach that you described, where the DAO will take care of deciding when to push something, and developers will submit their work, and it's completely doable.
Exactly. Any developer can freely create a channel, but it is in the end up to the DAO to approve which channel will be the official one used by the DApp.
Correct. And one thing that I think it's important, I didn't mention it before, but there is an analogy that we always use to explain what's a channel. And a channel, the analogy that we love using is YouTube. Is you are If you are a content producer and you want your followers to receive notifications from your new content, then you create a channel where your followers can subscribe to it and receive those notifications. So that's the a good analogy that will help people understand what's a channel. And inside the channel, you will have multiple types of notifications that you can prepare and send to your user base. One, there's a question in the chat saying
Yeah.
if YouTube is notoriously bad at notifications. Well, yeah, that's why we use it as an analogy. We're notoriously good at notifications.
Good. Yeah, we
um,
can even, as a DAO, incentivize developers from the wider community to create channels as bounties as well.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I was getting a little bit better. This is a UI that we put together so people understand. This is a very visual way of understanding what a channel is. Um, so basically, what you see here is a list of 1,000 channels that we have. This is our staging environment. So right now, I'm logged in with this wallet. Yeah. Okay, I'm logged in with this wallet. So if I search through the list of my channels, I prepared one very recently, this one, I can opt in to receive notifications from my channel. It's only an off-chain transaction. You just have to sign and that's it. You sign, boom, you're opted in to the channel to receive notifications. Now, let me show you. Now, if I switch to the channel owner wallet, which is the one that, of course, you will be handling. So now you will see this changing here. If you click it, you'll go to a backend. Again, this is a very visual way of seeing this, but ideally, you are not limited to anything. You can consume data from any source you want, Web 2 or Web 3 source. Prepare your notification payload and send it to be sent to wallet addresses. So what I wanted to show you is let's send a broadcast. I'm going to send a subject. This is a demo for DX DAO meeting. Uh, this is a test, and we send it. That's me sending it as a channel owner. Um, this is again just a visual way of seeing it, but I already have my browser extension. I don't think this is the right wallet. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, the notifications are coming on the other screen. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is the one that we just did. This is a demo for DX. Now, I was just testing that everything was working. What I what I what I was mentioning about a call to action link is this: whenever they come with a blue border, let's say for the proposal example that I was giving you. So this would be the text of the proposal, but if you click it, it will take you to wherever you want the user to go. That is to Snapshot or any of the other DAO tools. And look at this. Yeah, this is a staging. So sorry about that. There's still a couple of things. Um, but anyway, what I wanted to show you is this is the browser extension already working. The mobile app, we have it in the two flavors also working. So what I'm saying is right now we have a working product. We have a working product that anybody can use and they can subscribe. If they go to app.epns.io, we have some really good examples. This one is running on Robston because this is the one that, by the way, on January 11th, we are going to mainnet. But you see, it will show you some of the channels that we have running. So we have a channel that is observing at events in the Polygon network, right? In the Polygon chain, sorry. Um, and these are three channels that we have. This one for Uniswap is interesting because it's actually governance. So if you subscribe to the channel, you will get notifications about new proposals coming for Uniswap, and you can see the proposal in your mobile app or in your browser extension. Any questions?
Yeah, Jeff, first of all, the example you gave, you had to sign the transaction to send the notification, but
Yes.
those can also be automated so that, because the DAO cannot sign messages, and
Correct.
when a certain on-chain action happens in a dApp, the notification will be sent automatically, then no one would need to sign off any communication, just to clarify that. And also, can you explain exactly how the core contract on mainnet communicates with the communication contracts on the side chains and L2 chains? How does the
Yes.
cross-chain communication happens?
Let me
And also
just
about the incentivization model of the network with the rewards and slashing of the nodes.
okay, cool. Let me just I have a slide that is not part of this presentation, but it will work fine. This one. Okay, this is it. This one explains it very well. So this is how we are set up. We have an EPNS core contract, which is the one that mostly take care of, like the name says it, of core stuff like creating a channel and things that are very core to the functionality of the protocol, right? On the other side, we have what we call the EPNS communicator contracts. These are the contracts that you have to consider like satellites living in other chains, or contracts living in other chains that have the capability through the push nodes to communicate with the EPNS core contract that is handling everything related to channels and stuff. Um, so your question is really good because it brings this topic, push nodes. Push nodes is one of the most core pieces of the entire EPNS solution because they are the ones that will actually take care of retrieving and dispatching notifications. So whenever independently on which chain you're running, there is a notification that you want to be sent. This is what is enabling us to do off-chain delivery of notifications, because this is a peer-to-peer network of nodes that is its main functionality, among others, but its main functionality is that keeping an eye on the notifications that need to be sent and delivering them to wallet addresses, or let's call it Web3 recipients, because EPNS is also allowing for contract to contract integration and other things. About the incentives and slashing mechanisms, they are still not defined for the push nodes. That's something that we are still discussing internally on what's the best way to do it, because there are different approaches towards incentives and yeah, mostly incentives in EPNS. So this one is still in discussions.
And so I believe I, as a user, if I download the app and subscribe to a certain channel, I would have to pay for the feed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. No, this is completely for users. This is what I was showing here. For users, is completely free. Users. So this channel, I'm not opted in into this channel. I just sign a transaction. I don't even need to have any. Let me show you. I don't even have to have any assets. Well, in this one, I have assets, but um, let me go to this one. Let's say I have nothing here. I have nothing in general. So I can opt into the channel because it's 100% off-chain handled. So am I in Coven? Okay, this should have worked. Okay, what I'm saying is, let me see why this one is not. Let me check what happened really quick. So me as a user, all right, I'll check what's going on. But me as a user, I don't have to pay anything to receive notifications. In the past, when we started, if you saw one of our early videos, yeah, it was an on-chain transaction, but now it is not. So users will not incurring any cost whatsoever. Let me opt in into another one and see what's going on. Okay, I'll need to check. You as a user, you don't require anything. It's
Okay,
an off-chain
so
transaction.
in that case, is it protocols and dApps or organizations who create channels for their own dApps the ones incentivizing nodes?
No, the way okay, the way this works is we are thinking on following a traditional software as a service model in the future. We don't expect that to start not even in 1 year from now, because that goes hand by hand with governance. So there will be a fee for services to send notifications to their user bases. That fee, we don't expect it to be anything meaningful. Like we're expecting it to be even lower than the $80 or something. But why we don't have those numbers yet? Because that comes hand by hand with governance. When governance gets more traction, and our community is more educated into governance decisions, they will be able to play a role in defining what's going to be that fee. But the only cost for services or channels or DAOs to send notifications to their user base is going to be the channel creation, and then that monthly fee.
Gotcha. And just to clarify, Ross, the answer to Ross's question, something that I mentioned earlier as well, on-chain events can trigger notifications automatically, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
Actually, yeah.
a big question on security. Now, given those nodes in the push in the middle diagram, what was the push nodes? Yeah,
Yeah,
those are off-chain. Now, how would you secure that network? Would they need to stake assets and be penalized if they try to push fake notifications and scam people? What if a rogue node sends me a message that redirects me to a page that looks just like Uniswap and makes me do an action that drains my wallet?
Mhm.
How is that prevented?
Okay, same as in Ethereum and another blockchains, right? This is going to be a peer-to-peer network of nodes. There are other ideas in the pipeline that will help battle this, like certification of nodes and things like that, right? Which will help saying, okay, this is a node that is actually certified to deliver notifications for this service, right? That's coming in the future. Um, but yeah, in reality, the network itself and the slashing and incentive mechanisms are a big part of this. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And as long as probably I assume it happens trustlessly with open
Yeah.
contracts, and if a DAO approves a certain channel and that channel gets redirected, and any notifications from that channel get redirected from the push nodes onto the users without the push nodes being able to modify anything on them, then it's solid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it. You got it right.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Are you seeking investments? We have our internal arm, DX Ventures.
Um, that is that is something that it's not part of the domain of things that I'm handling right now. But uh, the thing is that right now we're fully focused on our mainnet launch. But this is a topic that we definitely want to revisit early next year. Our mainnet launch is scheduled for January 11th, so all hands on deck right now are on our mainnet launch. But right after, we're going to resume some of the conversations that we have had to put on hold through this time, and this is one of them.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jeff, for the very detailed explanation and overview. I think now that we know this exists, I think we can start to think about how DXDAO can use it, in what scenarios. There's it's still opt in though. Like the users have to opt in, so you can't just like send notifications to everyone that holds DXD, for example, right?
Uh, yeah, the users will still have to opt in, although we have one feature that we call the spam box. That is, you
Oh,
you
spam
can
box.
you can still send notifications to users even if they are not subscribed, but
Uh,
they will land onto the spam box until they subscribe formally to the channel. Right?
And they
So
would still have to have downloaded the application first. Basically, if they don't have the application, they cannot even get the spam.
not really, because the way this works is we are delivering notifications to wallet addresses.
Oh,
So
wow.
whenever, yeah, so whenever
Okay.
you download the app, let's say for the first time 1 month after you started, then when you opt in to receive notifications, you will see the spam box in there, and the spam box will contain a bunch of notifications that you would have gotten if you were subscribed to the channel before.
Okay.
yeah.
I'd need to link it
You're,
to the Tally Cash guys. They're developing a decentralized wallet. They might be interested in collaborating with you.
Oh yeah,
you're
that would be
basically
amazing.
front running the spam because this could become very spammy pretty easily, especially if it's free. But you're front running the spam with a Google
Yeah,
spam.
and
Yeah.
actually, that brings one topic that I wanted to touch upon. That's the spam, right? So usually when people are asked to opt into alerts, they are discouraged because of how spammy it can get as crypto does not sleep. So we introduced what we call spam score. And while being a decentralized network, we cannot really take an arbitrary decision and ban or block someone. At the same time, we know that bad actors will come and they will try to game the system, right? So we are building what we call spam score that is not built yet, but it is in development, and it awards or penalizes a channel based on behavior, number of subscribers, numbers of users that opted out recently. And the way it works is that at a certain level or score, it will start throttling all the notifications that the channel can send out. And if a channel doesn't pivot into good behavior, then that throttle will continue to grow and grow and grow until they cannot send notifications. So that's how we are doing our part, battling spam as well.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks very much, Jeff. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And again, I wanted to remind you, if you if you want to start exploring notifications for the DAO, or for any of the products under your umbrella, it'll be great if if you provide me just a small subset of notifications that we can start talking about. We will take care of delivering all the notifications for you and taking care of all the development activities. And it just requires follow-up meeting just to make sure that it works how you are expecting it.
Wonderful. I'll follow up with you in our chat in Telegram, and I'll create a group where you
Definitely.
could. I'll add contributors of the DAO and you colleagues on your side.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds awesome. And yeah, thank you so much for the time. It was great and a pleasure being here.
Nice. Yeah, we'll now continue with our agenda. If you'd like, you could either stay or leave. It's up to you. You're
I'll
free to
stay a
stay.
little bit. This is very interesting. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Jeff. Cool. Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed that. It should get people thinking. There's integrations. We can think about DXvote. We can think about all of our products and come up with some first cases for it, I think. Um, so next on the agenda, Dave, I don't know if you wanted to give like a short overview. I mean, some people here have already been in this discussion, but for like the wider community, if we're gonna go further with this idea, hearing an overview of kind of an esports sponsorship might be interesting from you.
Sure, yeah. I'll try and keep it short, as last
Sure.
time it deviated a bit into a long discussion. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I think there's a big opportunity in between the overlap of esports and DAOs. First of all, esports is mostly really a bunch of young people interested in tech, right? And everything is already digital, games, skins, and a lot of the orgs have already started launching NFTs and all the large crypto exchanges sponsor the largest teams, but I think there's really an aspect missing, which is really the governance, right? And I guess essentially esports is like a grassroots movement, so like, a group of friends coming together to play a game, and they've kind of had to adapt into these modern legal structures, like, organizations, etc. And just personally, I thought an idea of a DAO there could be really cool. And we kind of identified a couple of orgs which are open about the idea. And I think generally it's quite difficult to find an established esports organization that is open to the idea of like fan ownership and allowing fans to be part of the governance, let alone doing this as a DAO, right? And we've kind of identified an org in Denmark, so Copenhagen Flames. So I checked with them; they're also fine with this discussion being public and the amounts public. And after speaking to them to a bit, like an opportunity arose about a potential sponsorship deal. So where we would do a jersey sponsorship with them, which is kind of, for us, I would see this as, getting our toes wet in the water in the like esports world, which would be 100,000 US dollars for a 1-year sponsorship. So it would be a jersey sponsorship, which would mean DXDAO would be on the jersey. We could also print something else on the jersey, but I guess DXDAO makes the most sense to also raise general awareness. And on top of that, Copenhagen Flames would actually go and create educational content about DAOs for like esports fans, given that they're probably not too into like the latest and greatest in decentralized governance. So they'd make like videos, etc. And they actually just recently released a documentary. So if anyone's interested in their content making ability, etc., like 1 or 2 days ago, they released the first episode of a documentary they filmed themselves alongside Red Bull, which is one of their other sponsors. And as well, a cool opportunity, if we decide to go for this, kind of building this infrastructure for esports and DAOs, which is kind of more the long-term play, right? But being able to develop this in a partnership with an established org that is very open to the ideas could be a good path, in my opinion. And it would also be cool, of course, to give out jerseys as merch at conferences, etc. I think that's a very unique thing to do. And, I think if people generally agree that esports and DAOs is a thing that makes sense, right? I guess, if you look at the very long-term vision, they could even raise funds, etc., through the DAO instead of selling to a traditional organization, how it works today, right? I think even just the sponsorship would be a good way to like cement ourselves as a first mover in the segment and show that, we're committed to it and interested. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. So we have this opportunity.
Cool. Thanks for the overview, Dave. So in my opinion, this is like it's an idea that's like a little bit out there. You could try to bring DAOs to this community and it could fail. It might be too early. DX Vote is getting to the point where a community like that, maybe running on Gnosis Chain or whatever, could potentially use it. There'd be a lot of education there, but it seems like an interesting initiative. It's not like core to like the DeFi products that DXDAO's been building, but it would get attention. And it is an interesting, like big picture idea. And it really, I think, gets the focus on DXDAO, focusing on DAO, like rather than DeFi. And that's something that I think DXDAO has already started to do, is less DeFi, more DAO. I mean, obviously we do both, but this really like makes a statement that like we're going to try over the next year really hard to bring like some DAO infrastructure to the esports community, which is a pretty cool theme, I think. So, but
absolutely. And just to be clear, like the sponsorship, I mean, it's a traditional sponsorship deal, right? So the main thing is the logo on the jersey, and then they would provide some, of their expertise in producing some educational content, but they are also open and totally willing to launch a guild or a DAO or something like this. But it's not something we would do right on the day where we, do the sponsorship, etc. It's a long-term thing, which, they are completely happy to move at our pace,
Yeah, and also we kind of have a solution that we could market short term in the face of carrot although it would, of course, still need some modification because it's still an alpha MVP. But we could have, the community of esports fans gather funds in a pot and incentivize their teams and create their own tournament and not rely on centralized sponsors and centralized tournaments, but they could create their own arena online in the metaverse and pit teams against each other, and whichever team wins gets the pot. The carrots can be redeemed for the underlying locked collateral, although it still has its constraints, of course. We have to have all of these fans use on-ramps if they're not already Web3 users. If they don't have decentralized wallets, they would need to use on-ramps to put funds into wallet addresses, then send those to the carrot. Carrot needs to be modified to enable deposit from multiple addresses, multiple assets in to be collateralized in the same campaign, NFTs. So it has an immense potential, but of course we need to also find an angle that would.
Definitely. I personally think it's a bit premature to discuss specific technicalities, but I would say that if we decide to do something like this, I think Gnosis chain makes the most sense. And I think, the most practical way would just to have a faucet for people who are interested in this. DXDAO can give them 10 cents, which is enough to, do 1 million votes on DXDAO, So I don't think on-ramping is a big issue. And just another thing I'd like to add is that Copenhagen Flames actually also organizes their own tournaments. So I can also share some links. They actually organize one of the third largest tournaments of Fortnite, etc. So they also have the production capability to actually set up an event. And if we want to do something with Carrot with them, I'm sure they'd be really happy to do anything along that. They also have a large academy team and young people who they organize small tournaments with in Denmark, who are really happy about even winning $100 or $200. So I think there could eventually be a lot to do with Carrot as well. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, thinking out loud, you saying this, I just realized we ourselves, instead of giving them the funds directly to market ourselves on the T-shirts, we should do that as well. Imagine them wearing T-shirts with carrots on them and people wondering, what is that carrot? It's totally out of the blue. Why is this team wearing carrot T-shirts? And it all takes them to carrot.eth, and they see that we've put as a DAO, say, 20 grand if they win the first place. And if they win the first place, the team can redeem the 20K from DXDAO. And this kind of solves the problem of having to onboard thousands of fans. And at the same time, it's a great campaign for us to advertise how DXDAO is collaborating with the Meet Space. And it would be a great brand proposition for us in Web3. So this we could do already today. It's only two parties interacting. DXDAO putting collateral, minting carrots, giving them to the team, and if the team wins, we could make it not just first place. We could say if they're in the top 3, they can redeem the carrots, and we can do it today.
Definitely, yeah. I think there are a lot of interesting opportunities in esports. Well, I think this Copenhagen Flames one is a concrete one now. We'll probably have to make a decision on, but I agree that there are a lot more opportunities and stuff we can do. And I don't know if that's how sponsorships generally work with teams, because you do get the exposure, but I think it's something we could explore, and maybe even lower tier teams who don't have access to sponsorship could get some funds like that through Carrot. But yeah, I also don't want to, move again the whole discussion to this for another half an hour. So I'll mute myself.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that the Carrot ideas, whether it's for farming, whether it's for incentivizing this team, whether it's for the Atlantis World example of an extra features and stuff, Carrot works most effectively and probably safest when it's a bonus structure, not the whole sponsorship's dependent on that Carrot, right? Which is then super risky for the people that are taking the risk. But as a bonus, it's always attractive to layer on top. So we can maybe do that. Yeah, you think we need to move this forward? We should really, yeah, get a proposal going, or a forum post, and then maybe do like a DXD snapshot and a signal vote to like really gauge. And I think we could move fast on this to set it up for 2022, which would be a good period to focus on for this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I-
they're also renegotiating sponsorship, so they're also pushing me a bit to give an answer. So yeah, that definitely makes sense as next steps.
Yeah,
Do we
I'm
have
already
enough time
pumped
to do-
myself imagining those black T-shirts with orange and green carrots.
Dave, do we have like a couple weeks? Like if we did a signal proposal and a DXD snapshot to just gauge signal, like do we have? Is that, if that takes 2 weeks? Is that
Yeah,
good time?
definitely. I told him I'd try to get him a final answer by mid-January. That's what I told him.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right, so we're winding near the end here. Most important stuff. Yeah, this proposal to Gnosis DAO. We've gotten a little bit of support. Obviously, it doesn't make sense for just DXDAO contributors to like support it. So it's good to have other community people maybe asking anyone that's in the greater DXD holder community to support it. Not sure how these things go. Like, the Gnosis team is looking at the proposals. We don't know how many GNO holders are actually looking at proposals. So we'll try to get that to an actual, I believe, snapshot through Gnosis DAO before, yeah, maybe this week sometime. I mean, it is the holiday, but we can still propose it. And then, yeah, the live proposals. There's the ETH Denver sponsorships, which are on mainnet and XDAI for Signal. One unique thing about this is, and this, you guys get some weird noise going. Thanks
Got
for
it.
muting that. Thanks. Originally, we wanted to, since DXDAO can't sign contracts, like the way you actually do an agreement, like from what we've seen in the past so far, is like a project makes a proposal to DXDAO, and if someone from that project, now is it the project or one person from that project, like you never really know, like can one person represent the entire DAO or project, but they propose that to DXDAO and then rep holders vote on that proposal, and then that kind of creates an on-chain contract. And we've done that for some DX Ventures deals in the past and some other agreements. In this scenario, there's low bandwidth. There's like a contract that was floating around. DXDAO can't sign physical contracts. So we are basically doing this proposal to make this payment to support this sponsorship. But I would argue that it's, us initiating the proposal is not then like an agreement between two parties. It's more of a show of support and a payment for an assumed agreement, but with little and if you don't trust that counterparty, then you could run into some troubles in the real world. But that's something that DXDAO is facing in general. So it will be, we're trying it this way. We've done that before. We've paid sponsorships from like the DX Voice multi-sig and stuff, but at least this one is on chain. This one's on mainnet, and it's like, public for the world and the rep community to see. So, and then we need to, there's some discussion. We're getting closer, and we need to kind of figure out if we want to do an event, or there's been some talk on some swag for ETH Denver time, which is cool, like some little cups, climbing cups or whatever, some hats, and then we really need to figure out if we want to do an event, and if we do that event outside, inside ETH Denver, not sure what the inside options definitely are, or this is something simple like supplying a beer or a sponsoring like some thing that's part of the already like scheduled events that are happening in Denver. Like they have happy hours each day, and like I'm sure that DXDAO could provide a certain drink or a certain beer or something to that community just to get DXDAO's name out. But if we wanted to do it outside of Denver, we need to pick a time and place and then invite people and things like that. But that's kind of an open discussion going on. And then the last interesting thing, which Nathan, we added to the agenda last minute, and this is just something I guess I can mention and get people can start thinking about, is XDAI, Polygon already kind of says they're a green friendly NFT chain for gaming and stuff. XDAI had said that they were like green friendly. Now XDAI is becoming Gnosis chain. It's moving, or it's still proof of stake. And there's this like big green initiative around some of these chains, and to stand out against, I guess, Ethereum and Bitcoin as proof of work chains, which the ETH could change soon. But one idea is to really lean into this green initiative and try to leverage something like Carrot to like achieve it even more. So take it from carbon neutral into carbon negative as a like overall chain. And as we stay and become a deeper part of Gnosis chain and lean into it, incorporating an idea, you leveraging Carrot to like spur that initiative could be a cool idea. So the open things were like, what would be the condition or the goal of the green initiative? Like, what is the current goal? And Nathan's learned that like right now there is kind of carbon neutral, and how are they achieving that as a blockchain? And then whatever those kind of measurements are, like how do we improve those measurements and drive it in an even more green direction and leverage that condition using Carrot, and then maybe getting crowdfunding, everyone could put in different grant amounts of their own tokens or money from the different projects that are all part of the ecosystem, and create this like big honeypot of tokens from that like make up the ecosystem, and then that could be the actual what's locked up in the like a Carrot collateral contract or something which would be pretty cool. So that's an idea to also think about. Maybe we can get a forum post about that so people could propose different ideas as well.
Yeah, that would be really big for DXDAO in Gnosis chain if we lead that effort or somehow contribute to support it with our dApps that we've built.
Totally. So I think that's pretty comprehensive call today. Obviously, a lot was taken up by EPNS, which is a super cool product, but we have like 3 or 4 things that people, we should get more into the DXDAO community in public and get people contributing or proposing different ways to implement some of these ideas. A lot of it's kind of idea generation, and so maybe that's a good thing people can do over the next couple weeks holiday time, when if you're doing a little less work, you can have a glass of wine and come up with some crazy ways to implement these initiatives.
Yeah, a little more eggnog.
Yeah,
for creativity.
So I guess we'll close the call here. Thanks everyone for coming, and enjoy the rest of the week. There are calls happening most days as we lead into the Christmas holiday, but if we don't see you the week after. Otherwise, enjoy your holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.